grown so much where you can get fitness on your level, and we have walkers, runners, throwers, hurdlers, sprinters, you name it. We have everything. And what we all have in common is we just want to be the best people we can be.
Yeah. I've been to GYS. You remember?
Was it that bad?
It was not that bad.
Everybody remembers.
It was a hamstring pull. It's fine. It's fine.
April Lund is a world champion runner. Her career has taken her everywhere, but it's been unusual. And so we're going to talk to her about her whole career. Thank you for being here, April.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So tell me where you are now. You're a world champion. You are a world record holder, an American record holder. Like what? Tell me your accolades.
Oh gosh. Well, this year alone has been amazing. I've done more this year than probably I've done almost my whole career. From being injured the last year has really helped me evolve into many different fields. It's really funny. I just got back from Kenya and people are like, what do you run? Do you run the marathon? And I'm like, everything. What you got? I'll literally run anything, which is awesome. So I've won world and national championships anywhere from cross country. I set the American record in the 3,000 in March. I won the national championships for cross country in January, made Team USA, went to Australia. And then that was February. Then March, I was in Poland and won multiple world championships there and set that record. And then I just went to Kenya to train. And
so is it unusual for a runner to do all of these different disciplines and all of these different distances?
Yeah, it really is.
You're just signing up because you're going to win it?
No. So once again, my feet being injured really had to help me evolve because I've had plantar fasciitis really severely. I actually didn't even believe in plantar. Like I thought it was like a fake thing. People just said, I can't run today because my feet hurt.
Sure.
And they just wanted to go to the bar, right? It's like something like that. But I did all my miles, I'd say 95% or more on the treadmill until I went to Kenya last year. And being on the dirt and the hills and 2,000 feet of climb a day and all the big stones, when I came back to North Dakota, my feet hurt. And crippled. And so it's like 3 marathons, literally within like 10 days of my marathon, my feet break. It's happened to me 3 times now. So it's really helped me though get fast. I'm the fastest I've ever been in my life, and I'll be 41 in exactly 1 month. And I've never been so fast. My flat speed is amazing. Cross country, I love it. I had no clue I like that stuff. If you would have asked me even a year and a half ago, I know like some of the people locally would ask me to run hills or do trails, and I thought they were crazy and they had a death wish, right? And now it's like my favorite thing to do. I love it. I love everything running.
Oh, that's awesome. So what was Kenya? Why did you go to Kenya?
Yeah, so my coach passed away about 16 months ago, and I almost hung up my running shoes because I don't want to be treated like an old sick white lady. But technically, when you look on paper, I'm an old sick white lady. You know, I have 4 autoimmune diseases, and I just got lots of things, and I didn't want to have to tell a coach about all the things that were wrong. And Rich Anderson, I don't want to cry, but he really believed in me since I was a little girl. And I called him after my first Bismarck Marathon, and I ran a 141 and change, and I heard the winning time was a 129, and I'm doing math, and I'm like, I do that. And I called him, and then he believed in me, and he trains Aji Wilson and Agnes Terope and all these world record holders and Olympians and all these things. And I called him, and he said he waited for that call for 20 years. And
wow.
And when he passed, he also trained all the Kenyans on the ground. And there's like a group of Kenyans that run for Kazakhstan. And when he passed, they offered to take me on. And then when they saw how hard I worked, they offered to bring me to Kenya. And I jumped on it. And then this was my second time. And then I'll probably go back in September as well. And life-changing.
Wow.
Life-changing.
Your coach, he was waiting for that call. You had a prior relationship with him? Like you knew?
So when I was young, in high school, I would go to St. Louis. I grew up in Southern Illinois, and they had the St. Louis Track Club, and I would run like the off-season road races and stuff there. And that's before I even had a sports bra. I would wear like shoes with holes in them and like hand-me-down Umbros that were like 5 sizes too big for me. And but then I would win the race.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then, and we just had a good relationship. And then as an adult, I would come back and forth, like in between drinking, and I would always go to track. And and then one day I just thought I would be done being sick and tired of being sick and tired. Yeah.
So you decided I'm gonna really go into running. I'm gonna make a thing of the make a go of this. So you called the coach kind of out of the blue. Hadn't heard from you for a while.
We would talk occasionally on Facebook. And I mean, 7 years ago I was 100 pounds heavier, 44.8% body fat, and an alcoholic. I was at a point where if I didn't change my life, I was gonna die. And running and God literally, like I got goosebumps. Running and God literally saved my life. And all I know is I just needed to make changes, and I always come back to running. I was so drunk, I had no clue I was so big.
Okay.
I remember the first time I got sober and I went for a run, and I looked down and I was like, what is this thing flopping around? And it was my stomach.
Sure.
I couldn't even see my running shoes.
Yeah.
But I
So-
still thought I was fast. I don't know.
Yeah. But you did that for like recreationally, always was running?
I would always come back to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like you would get busy, and I've always worked at least 2 or 3 jobs. I really like enjoy helping people, but I always drank. Like in St. Louis, that's what you did. I mean, you had the Cardinals, you had the Rams, you had the Blues, and your whole life kind of revolved around drinking.
Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah, and I bartended like through college, and I mean, I went to college for a really long time because I couldn't decide what to do. But anyways.
A lot of people go to school for 7 years.
They're called doctors.
I know, right? That's what I say that too, and I'm like 7.5 years. I was an overachiever.
Yeah. So you say that running and God saved your life. How?
Yeah. Well, through running, I'll just be very honest. I mean, like I overdosed a couple times. I did cocaine. I was in an abusive relationship. And actually, when I left St. Louis, I was escaping. I was running for my life. I had 2 black eyes and just a dream of not dying, to be honest. I took a job traveling, which brought me up here. And then I never knew I would meet my husband. So we found over 100 fractures between my sacrum, my spine, and my head, and my jaws in the last 2 years. So, but it's great because every time I find like a fracture or find something wrong from my past life, it makes me stronger today. And I would never change any of those things that ever happened to me because it gave me the tools to help people. And without the abuse, without the struggle, without growing up in poverty, without the health issues, I couldn't help all the people that I help today. And a degree and a piece of paper doesn't make you a good coach. It doesn't make you a good person to help, but experience and overcoming and learning ways to work through those problems and that adversity and those obstacles, that's how you help people.
That's a really healthy, redemptive way to look at a lot of what sounds like intense pain.
Well, running is the least hard thing in my life. When I step to the
interesting.
line, I'm like, nobody has been through what I've been through. And if they beat me, it is only because I either made a mistake or because they're more talented. And that's it. Because no one can hurt like I can hurt. And I know that.
Wow, that's I'm really interested because I bet that out of everyone that's at the starting line, you're unique in that thought. Like no one can hurt like I can hurt because there's been worse. Like other people kind of have their eyes to the prize, maybe something like that, but you can go to hell and back.
Yep.
It's kind of your thought.
The person that hurts the most and can handle the hurt the longest is the person that wins the race. So, and I feel like I win the race every single day that I wake up. And I'm just so lucky to be here.
When did running become your defining thing?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I hope running is never my defining thing. I hope my legacy is, man, when someone says April Lund, that they think about, she helped my grandma. She helped change Special Olympics in our community. She helped my friend get sober. Like, that's what I want people to think about. And I feel like when I lose focus, like last year when I came back from Kenya and I ended up hurt, I almost feel like that was God putting me in check, because I think my head got a little bit too big. And people are like, oh yeah, you're that girl training for the Olympics. You're this. And instead of, you're the person that helps people.
And that's what you would rather.
And I'd rather be the person that helps people. And I feel like the more I help others, the more God blesses me. You know, as far as when running really, really got serious, I would say about 4 years ago. And then every cycle, I just find another way to level up, whether it's work harder, work smarter, work more efficiently. Once again, I'm my fastest. I'm on the bike right now, and I'm not even worried about it, because I still plan on setting a record here in 5 weeks. And I'm on the bike. I can't even run.
5 weeks, what's this?
We have U.S. Track and Field Masters National Championship.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what's the record you're going to...
The 10,000 meter.
And what is the record currently?
34:53.
And that's what you're going to break?
Oh, I should easily be able to break that. Yeah.
What's your goal? If you want to put that out there.
No, it's okay. I should be able to break 34. It just depends what kind of sharpening I can do. Mm-hmm. So I had a fall in Kenya. I mean, we can talk about it because I haven't talked about it publicly, really.
Let's talk about it.
I just went to Kenya to heal and to feel good, and just to make it to the start line of Grandma's, which is this weekend. And I won't be making that start line because I had a fall. I mean, training was never so good. It was almost too easy. Like, even when I had to leave, I'm like, because last year it killed me, man. It was so hard. And everything is hilly, but when you do hills in Kenya, they literally take a machete up the side of the Champion Mountains, and that's what hills are there. You can't walk. It's crazy. I love it though. But when I was there this time, it was just amazing. And then I took my eyes off the road for 1 second, because the little kids were getting off school and they were in little matching outfits, and they're like, champion, champion. And they just want to touch you. And I went to turn to high five them, and I wiped out. And I have 3 completely separated ribs over here, 2 fractured in the front. And then I just found out I have a stress fracture in my foot.
So when you fell, did you know, oh, I hurt myself?
Oh man, I tell you, it happened in slow motion, and I thought I actually tore the cartilage, because I got up the next day and just, wiped my wounds off, and I went for a 14-mile run.
Like you do.
I did. Right. I was just like, I'll just run a little slower, right? If it's broken, I wouldn't be able to move like that, right? I did a second run that day. Woke up the next morning, went for a 20K. No big deal. Went to run that night. My foot kind of hurt, so I came back early, got on the bike. Of course, I had a bike shipped to Kenya, spin bike. I love my spin bike. Operation thicker than a Snicker, full effect. I'm literally busting out my pants like the Hulk. It's so embarrassing. I did it in a public place the other day, and I just acted like I farted, because it was less embarrassing than knowing that you ripped your pants out. Yeah. Anyways, that next morning, I went to go run, and I couldn't hardly walk, and I just knew something was up. So, but to be honest, I needed a break. I have been in the best fitness of my life. Honestly, for 7 years, right? I've never not PR'd a race. Everything has been faster and better and stronger for over 7 years. And especially the last 2.5 years. It has been exponential growth to the point where, once again, I'm going to be on the bike for a little bit, and I'm not even worried about breaking this record because I'm just in the best fitness. And actually the bike has made me the fastest I've ever been, I think, flat.
So, okay, feel free to toot your own horn here, but that's not typical, right? As a runner, what's peak running fitness in the Olympics? Isn't it when you're 24, you're kind of done, and you start to decline every race? But you're saying every race that you do is a PR for the last 2.5 years.
Yeah, 7 really. Yeah,
I think the last 7 years.
I think I ran my half when I won my world championship in Poland in March. I was only a 117 flat, but the conditions were terrible, and it was my 4th race in 5 days. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give myself a little grace on that one. Right. Give myself a little grace. And it hurt so bad that I'm and I had 1 foot. right? I had literally one foot. I couldn't warm up. I couldn't cool down for any of these races. That's why I set out Boston. But I mean, it depends because this is the first time American runners are like, our women are the best and we're 38 to like 41. You know, I'm going to count myself because I'll be 41 next week. Like, but literally our top 20 to 50 runners are pretty old. And we've got some young people like Emma Bates, Dakota Lindworm. They're younger, but really our best people are old.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
It's fantastic.
But I've never really heard of that where like every race is your next PR, or you just continue to get better with age in the sport.
I mean, I missed a good 20 years in there.
So you're making up for it? Yeah.
I missed a good 20 years. You know, my coach in Kenya actually told me, he goes, you're doing it backwards. So before my coach died, he goes, you need to pick one distance and we're going to focus on it. What do you want your goal to be this year? And I said, I'm going to break every world elite standard from the 3,000 to the marathon. And he goes, no, I don't think you understood the assignment.
Okay,
And
just do the opposite of what I said.
And I was like, no, really, I know we can do that. And that's what I want to do. And I never really thought it would lead, though, to where I am today, and then adding in cross country, and I want to do some mountain racing and some other things. And I just keep getting faster. And I mean, I love it.
That's awesome. That was going to be one of my questions. But first, like, as far as goal setting goes, would you be in the camp of, hey, set reasonable goals, something that is attainable, or are you in the camp of dream big and just stop at nothing?
So your progression should be reasonable, right? Like progression, you need to have like a real life thing. And I talk with like clients about that, about weight loss, right? I'm like, a pound is 3,500 calories, right? So you have to burn it or eat it less. And I mean, and I try to break that down because we have this unrealistic goal or expectations. The same with racing. You know, like the people I work with do astonishingly well, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, the progression needs to be reasonable, but your goal should be so big it scares the crap out of you, that it could keep you up at night, that when you think about it, your heart, like, it'll make me cry. Your heartbeat should go up 20 beats just thinking about your goals. Because if you don't get outside your comfort zone, where are you ever going to be? Like, aren't people tired of, I'd rather choke on failure than be okay with mediocrity any day. Like, I don't want to just be here. I will never be okay with just being here, ever. I want to do the best I can and let God do the rest at everything I do. And that's whether it's napping, whether it's eating, whether it's racing. I do everything like a champion. And champions don't make excuses. We make adjustments. And I think that's one of the things, like, I would never change, like I said, my past, because it has taught me that I always keep my eyes on the prize, or I make the prize even bigger in case I can't see, you know, and I just make the adjustments to stay that course, whatever that might be.
I love everything that you just said. Now, the part of me that's like having a knee-jerk reaction is like, what you're saying is awesome, but it's atypical. And I'm wondering, is it true for everyone? Do you believe?
So we have to teach ourselves to be better than our circumstances, because we live in a world that's negative, right? And we are taught to make excuses, and excuses are okay, right? Like, it's okay to not get up when your alarm goes off. It's okay to eat crap food because the sun isn't shining today, right? I stubbed my toe, so I better just not do anything today and work from home, right? I mean, like, that's literally the society we live in today. We have to teach ourselves to be better. We also have to teach ourselves to not accept excuses ourselves, or excuses out of the people that we are around. And excuses can be legitimate, right? Like, I have a legitimate excuse, 10 of them every single day, to like not do anything. But we need to teach each other to lift each other up and not accept mediocrity, because we're never going to be anything more. And it's a learned thing. And to not be negative. Like, I cannot stand it. I'll just get right off the phone with people. Like, I'll listen, and my job is to help people, right? Like, I mean, that's what I do, right? I help people learn to evolve their personality, evolve their future, evolve where they are today to where they want to be. And one of those things too is escaping negativity, because I mean, the world is a negative place, but you can't litter trash everywhere and expect to come back to a clean, positive environment, right? And I mean, there's a difference between this is what's going on, right? Like, I have 5 broken ribs and a broken foot. Yay, right? But that's not where I stay, right? I am solution focused in every way that I can in my life, because I can't dwell on the past and dwell on my last chapter and rewrite my next chapter.
So someone who is in that self-described rut, they're not getting out of their apartment because something happened to them. What is April Lund comes into the situation? What do you tell them to do to get out of that rut?
Well, number one, you have to give yourself a chance, right? Like, I work with a lot of people struggling with depression, and what we talk about, or abuse, and is giving yourself a chance. You need sunshine. You need to eat good food. Are you getting good sleep? Are you surrounding yourself with warriors who believe, right? I mean, those things are all really, really important. Are you moving? I mean, objects in motion stay in motion, right? The laws of physics. And as humans, we are no different. And my best advice I can give to anyone is, if you are stuck and you don't know what to do or where to go, find someone that can help you, or get outside your house. And they kind of go hand in hand, right? I don't care if you walk to your mailbox, but if your friends, have you ever heard that, like, you amount to like the 5 people you hang around the most, right? If the people you hang around are sitting in their house too, eating crap food, not getting sunshine, not sleeping, complaining about things, and they complicate you instead of compliment you, that's kind of your problem, right? Like, you have to change those things. So, I mean, get out, move, and surround yourself with warriors. And you'll find those warriors.
How do you find those warriors?
You have to get out of your house, right? And do things. And I truly believe God will bring those right people in your life. I mean, I could have never healed my body if I didn't end up in Bismarck, North Dakota, because the doctor I need is in Hazen, North Dakota. Do you know we have one of the top applied kinesiologists in the world an hour from here?
Who's that?
Dr. Bill Swanson. I mean, it's the most amazing doctor, and muscular, neurological, skeletal. If I wasn't here, I wouldn't be able to heal my body and be where I am today and do the things I do and help the people that I help. But it took all of those things to happen to me to get me here.
Wow.
You said you were brought here by a position where you were traveling. What about Bismarck? I mean, I know you said your husband too.
Yep.
But what about Bismarck made you kind of put down roots here?
Well, I mean, somebody put a ring on it. That makes it pretty. But I mean, I love Bismarck. So like and I've been traveling everywhere, like the last couple of years, but I mean, I would never move from here. I love it. The people are good. The people are genuine. What you see is what you get. And if someone owes you a nickel, they'll pay you a dime. And it's just really wonderful people. And I love that. Yeah.
You said, like, that person to surround yourself with warriors. You need to get out of the apartment. One of those places you could go is to GYS Track Club.
Yes.
Tell me about GYS.
Yeah. So GYS, just so you know, because people were on the team forever and they're like, what does that stand for? It stands for get you some. Okay. So get you some courage, some friendship, some motivation, some results, some sunshine, some accountability. So when I came to Bismarck, there wasn't really much of like a running club. Like, there was one group, but unless you were like really good, they didn't really care. And I just wanted a place. Once again, I come back to Jesus and running, and St. Louis Track Club was always kind of my saving grace. And we might sit in the parking lot and get drunk after our run, but man, we showed up and we ran. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Where every run is a beer run.
I love you, St. Louis Track Club. Moving forward. But I wanted to create a place where all ages, all shapes, all sizes, everyone could come together to be the best them that they could be. And, I went to do my first track workout because everyone does 400s, right? I've been doing 400 since I was 14-year-olds, like 14-year-olds, right? Or 14 years old, if I can talk. But I went, and it was really tough to do by yourself. So I was working at Gold's Gym, and I just looked for the most fit people. Patrick Nagel's one. I just asked them if they wanted to go run with me. And that was 7 years ago. And now like we've grown so much where you can get fitness on your level, and we have walkers, runners, throwers, hurdlers, sprinters, you name it. We have everything. And what we all have in common is we just want to be the best people we can be.
Yeah. I've been to GYS. You remember?
Was it that bad?
It was not that bad.
Everybody remembers.
It was a hamstring pull. It's fine. It's fine.
It was a blast, first of all, because as an adult, when do you get to run on a track anymore? You know, since junior high or whatever track in high school. So like that was extremely fun because like, oh, I remember this very familiar pain.
Yeah.
But also I was getting the workout of my life, and then kind of tailored to me. And there were other people doing the same workouts, but then there's other people doing different workouts that are challenging for them, whether it's higher capacity or beginner.
Yep.
And so everybody there is getting a pretty crazy workout that you're pushing each individual. And so even the walkers are like getting...
the walkers have their own written workout. Yeah, they've got their own workout too.
And April's on the sidelines like, come on, let's go, and everything else. So I was like deeply impressed by GYS, and that's only grown. But right?
Yeah, and it's been awesome. And then we're officially the only certified master's track and field program in North or South Dakota.
Wow.
So I know I went to Iowa in 2019 and ran my first 10,000 meters on a track ever. And I thought it was, first of all, I feel like I'm an intelligent person, but I'm like, this is going to be a hard 24 laps. And I'm like, I'm like 25. Okay. But it was so cool. And so now 2 years ago, we took our first team to nationals and we got 17th. And then last year we got 7th. And then this year we're taking our biggest team ever to Greensboro, North Carolina. And we have everything from sprinters, steeplechasers. Actually last year we brought home 6 national champions. So it was really awesome. It's just really exciting. And to give people an opportunity to compete on their level and just to have a place to compete as a master's athlete, it's fantastic. And the community is amazing. It's just wonderful.
That is so cool.
Yep.
And the other piece of that is the community aspect of it. Not only is it like providing a space for people of all levels, but you guys are supporting all the other races. Like you guys are volunteering, and you're at water stops and everything else.
Yeah, so I'm a really big fan in to heal and help yourself, you have to heal and help other people, right? So we do a lot with Special Olympics North Dakota. We also we volunteer at the zoo because we all love the park, right? In our group, we do at least one volunteer community project every single month together. Kids are always welcome too, because I think we should raise our kids learning to serve other people. And we also do like a monthly community party or whatever that might be, whether it's a backyard or we did like a video game thing a couple months ago. It was kind of fun, but yeah.
Right.
Okay. So because you're continuing to do all these races and things, I'm thinking people in that position are often relying on sponsorships.
Yep.
Like Nike's providing me the ability to be here and do these races.
Yep.
You have your own business, and you're going every day. Like you said, what Mondays and Thursdays you do a 16-hour day or something like that.
I do. Yeah.
That's unusual as well, right? That are you self-supported? Do you have sponsors?
I do have sponsors, and I am accepting more sponsors. Why, yes, I am. But so, I mean, I obviously have the big goal of I hope to sign with, a big company like Nike, On, Hoka, whatever it might be. But I do have 22 local sponsors and some national sponsors like UCAN as my fuel that I use, Alt Red as my beet supplement I use, Shields, I picked them up this past year, which is really, really awesome too. But I work 80 hours a week. I have 3 jobs. I love to help other people. It's funny because I was Zooming this morning, while I was on the bike, I'm like, man, this is America. You can make money and work out at the same time. This is fantastic. But it's really nice because I feel like I've just really found the niche. And we talked about, I went to school for a long time. And it's like, I was going to be a teacher. And I'm like, nope, not going to be a teacher. Then I took my LSAT. So I was like, nope, not going to do that either. And I just couldn't find what I wanted. And I knew I always wanted to help people. So to be able to grow as a person, but help other people grow as well. It's amazing. And, as a coach, the best compliment you can ever see is someone to knock the dust off and to shine and become more than they ever thought possible. It's so beautiful and it's so rewarding, and I would never trade it in a million years. It's just so fantastic. And the COVID has really helped too, because in Kenya, it's like the perfect life, because you wake up, you get your first workout, you eat, you take a nap, get a massage, and then you start working for the day back here at like 4:30, what this time would be. It's so amazing, because Zoom really helps with that too. So, yeah.
Right. Okay. So, coming back a little bit, as you'd been running for a while on and off, you said you were an alcoholic, and you needed running to escape in some way. So you reached out to your coach, and did everything stop then? Like, okay, now I'm a runner and I have to go by these rules.
What rules? Wear neon?
Yeah.
Pee in public? No,
well, there is a way to know the brightest colors win the race, right? Is that true?
They make you go fast.
But your coach now says, okay, we're gonna buckle down, right? So
no, not really.
Okay.
I mean, my coach gave me a lot of freedom. Just here's my workouts, get it done, and as long as I was getting things done, there was, and I mean, I can count on less than one hand times I've ever missed a time in a workout. Like, this is what it is, and this is what we do. But that's what I also teach my athletes too, And I don't care if it's my 60-year-old stay-at-home mom. Like, you still got stuff to do, right? But I feel like there is a place and a time for strictness, and not, because your life needs to be maintainable and needs to be long-term. Right? So if you say you can never do this, or really, when is that ever going to be real life? Like, even with our nutrition, like, I don't believe in a diet, but I eat really, really good. Right? But I mean, to say I'm never going to have a cookie is a lie. Right? Like, I mean, that's just setting yourself up for failure.
Sure. I agree. I think that's really a wise approach. But as you're kind of switching lifestyles, did that happen cold turkey? Or did you kind of like on-ramp into, I'm a runner now, I don't have time for this, that, or the other thing?
I go all in at everything I do, right?
I sense that.
But I find new ways to go all in, right? Like, it took a long time to get the nutrition on board. And then even what I thought was healthy 7 years ago, I know is not healthy for me now, right? Running too, it's like it took my coach forever to get me to do 2 a day. I'm like, I don't get to rest in the middle of my race. This doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I really have a correct answer, because everyone's so individual. And for me, once again, I'm still finding ways to level up and to get better and to get stronger, and not always work harder.
So you see this thing that you're chasing, and that is a driving factor for, I mean, you're not going to miss a workout now. I'm 100% in. I got to keep doing this is that accurate?
I don't not really, because there's no accolade that can replace how I feel when I show up for myself. Like, I don't show up to be a world champion, because I show up to be the best April that I can be, and to be the best Christian I can be, and to be the best example that I can be. And success is a feeling, and no one can give it to, it's going to make me cry. No one can give it to me. No one can take it away. No one can rip the rug out from under me. And I've never been in that position my whole life. And that is why I love running so much, because it is the only true reciprocal relationship I have in my life, because what I put in is what I get out. And that's why I show up every day, because no one can take that feeling of success away from me. No one. Because I made it myself. I don't put the keys to my happiness in other people's pocket. It is solely on me.
So you're setting out to be the best April that you can be, and being a world champion is an outcome. It's
an outcome. Yeah. I mean, my keys to success are simple things I do every day. Okay. I put my armor on. And sometimes we get mad at God. I'll just be honest. Like, I did my first devotion today since I fell. because I was a little angry.
I need a break.
We'll chat about this. Not now.
But that's real life,
Yes,
right? I
very
mean,
much.
we all go through those phases. But like, I start with my armor. I do whatever's on my workout plan for that day, which can be adjustable depending on how I feel. I eat the way I'm supposed to, however that might be according to what I need. I high five a stranger.
That's true.
Yeah, every day.
Is that why you stopped to high five the kids in Kenya?
It is.
Oh no!
And you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I pray it, and then I pray at night before I go to bed. Literally, those are the 5 things I do every day. And where my life is today is because of that.
Wow.
That's it.
I love it.
I keep it simple. You have to keep it simple. And I think sometimes, even though we have these goals that are crazy, if you read my mirror at home, you're going to be like, wait, what? Because that's evolving. But if I do what I need to do today, those things will happen and more. Like I just am shocked about where I am today or what I'm doing or the things I'm capable of. I often have to like look back. I keep a little log of my times and my workouts, and because it's like I don't even believe it. I'm like licking my finger going through, and I'm like, yeah, I can do that.
Sure. So, because looking back at all of the success that you maybe didn't expect that you would have, does that influence the goals that you have in the future? That, why not
Yeah,
this? Because I've been able to see.
absolutely.
So, what's maybe an example of something on your mirror?
Well, I mean, I want to be signed professionally. I want to be the oldest athlete ever signed professionally.
What is the oldest athlete?
38.
Really?
Yep. So
Strictly in like running or in?
I'm pretty sure now. I mean, other people can research and let us know for sure, but I'm pretty sure it's all sports.
Okay.
Like signed professionally,
So
like
your
real deal,
your
and not just
rookie
a
contract-
small sponsor. Yeah, your rookie contract, because
Okay.
I'm like, take that, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
But that's one. Going under 2:30 in the marathon. I mean, and I've been ready to do that 3 times, but my feet,
Was Boston going to be one of those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. So, and I was actually knowing that Sarah Hull turned 40 the day before Boston actually made me feel better about not going because she was going to set the Masters record. I mean, I want the best for her. So I couldn't even wish that she didn't have an A race.
Yeah.
She's such a wonderful example. But, the only thing I haven't accomplished that I set out with Rich was to make the Olympic trials. And that's only a 2:37. And it's like, I can do that in my sleep, right? Like I was actually going to do it at Grandma's just as an easy run with 1 foot.
So, are you going to be in the Olympics?
So honest is December, I had to drop out of the marathon championships. And I was prepared to run a 2:27, 2:28 there. If that would have went how I wanted, I really felt I had a good shot of making our team. I mean, I honestly, in my soul, felt like that. Now, Paris will be the first time that they have a race with the top athletes in the world that aren't on the team. So, as long as you can run the Olympic standard, which I know I can, I feel like I will be in Paris. I may not be necessarily on Team USA for that, but I do believe I'm going to run the course in Paris.
Wow.
Yeah.
What does it mean to not be on Team USA? What would be your
Well, so
alternative?
Team USA would be the top 3 people,
Okay.
top 2 to 3 people from USA. So, but that will not be me. So it's not going to be me now, but that's okay because I've really, once again, focused on evolving. My 3,000 is great. I'm going to do the 10,000. I really want to do some mountain racing. Have the plans for my first ultra too, because I just want to do all the things. Like,
Wow.
why do I have to just be a marathon runner? Like, to be honest, like running over 2 hours used to scare me. Now I'm like, well, just a marathon? Like, where's the other like, don't I got to jump over some crap? Like, what do I got to do? Because it's like a marathon doesn't even seem hard to me. I just feel like now I need to run that Olympic trials qualifier because I owe Rich that. Because it was the only goal that we had left that I haven't done yet.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
When is that?
Well, it was going to be this weekend, but now I'm deciding. So it might be at the Bismarck Marathon, or I'll probably do Indianapolis.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your journey has been a wild one. A lot of pain and a lot of successes. So that kind of question, what would you tell your, let's say, 18-year-old self if you could? What does that conversation look like?
2 things. Once you know your worth, stop giving people discounts. Because I never felt I was good enough. And I walked on eggshells my whole life. And because of that, I stayed in situations that didn't serve me and that stole from me. And I wouldn't want that for anyone. And that's something I want to teach people.
Stole from you 20 years?
Yeah. I mean, just took my health, took my dignity, just stole from me as a person from achieving what God set out for me.
Wow.
And I told people when I was 18 or 19, I'd be a professional athlete. Mm-hmm. And I mean, some people would call that lying. I would just call it manifesting my destiny.
Yeah. Do you have any regret?
Yeah. My only regret, I would say that I actually have. And then I just want to also tell my younger me not to drink.
That was your second part.
That was my second one. Please don't drink. But my only regret is not finishing my college career running. That's literally the only regret I have in my entire life. Mm-hmm. Because everything else I feel served a purpose and gave me tools I needed now that I've been through. But I wish I would have finished my college career. Like that's still just defeating. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I went back home, when I was in Kenya, right after my fall, my grandma got sick. So I went back home and I went and ran on my campus, like my college campus. And I just ran around the track saying some 4-letter words. Like, and then I couldn't even get on the track. I'm like, don't you know who I am? No.
If you did finish your college career, would you have the accolades that you do now?
I don't think so.
Right?
And I'm way faster now than I ever was then. And I didn't know how to eat then. I didn't know, there's just so many different things. And I didn't have my first drink till I went to college. Mm-hmm. Right? And and the team, honestly, that's what our team did. We drank and we ran and kind of went to school. Right? Mm-hmm. And
oh, yeah.
oh, yeah, that thing that took a long time. Mm-hmm. I don't think I'd be where I'm at. And I'm not done. I've got another really good 4 years in me.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I know for sure I can get faster till 44, 45.
So people who are keeping score at home and following April Lund, what does the rest of 2023 look like?
Man, it's just changing. So I definitely want to run that around 2:30. I'll save my sub 2:30 for the Olympic trials. And I was going to get into mountain racing this year. I think that's irresponsible with 6 broken bones.
Yeah.
just to be honest, I just really think it is.
Earlier I would have said yes, but now I don't know what.
And then the other part of me is like, I don't know, maybe later in the year. But I also want to make Team USA again for our cross country. So we'll have that towards the end of the year. I also did get voted on by U.S. Track and Field as the long distance running representative for the Masters community. So I'm pretty excited about that and to represent us in Orlando. And really I just want to train. I want to be healthy. I want to help people and do the best I can. And to be honest, that's evolving. Not even sure what that means or where I'm going. But I know whatever it is, it's going to be for the glory of God. And through God, there are no bounds.
So I know, you're focused on right now. Say after the good 4 years that you say you have left.
Yep.
And feel free to pull a Tom Brady and just keep on going.
I'm not going to stop. That's for sure.
But what really once your broken bones or whatever it might be is kind of holding you back to where it's no longer a personal record every race.
Yep.
Are you going to train others? It seems like if you have this ability to help others, whether it's in their personal life or whatever, are you going to take that to, have that relationship you had with your coach and try to do that for others?
Yeah. And that is what I do. So, April Lund Fitness, and that's part of just the GYS Track Club. That's, I literally just want to cultivate other people and help other people heal. And I feel like God's purpose in my life, once again, isn't to be April the runner. It's to be April the healer and to help people heal emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and to know that they're not broken. They might just be bent. Mm-hmm. And one of the last things my coach, and I can send it to you, you can post it, but one of the last things he ever said to me, and it was his last post, was the Oz, because I always told him he was my Oz, right? Like he, was my man behind the curtains. And he said the Oz never gave the Tin Man anything he didn't already have. And sometimes we just need a little help knocking that dust off so we can shine. And that's my goal in life, is I just want to help other people shine.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You should, if you have that, send it.
I will.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
What discourages you?
Negativity discourages me. Negativity does, because I can take weak sauce and make awesome sauce. And I can take okay sauce and make awesome sauce. But like, there's literally nothing you can do with negative sauce. I mean, and until someone is ready to change, they're just stuck as a victim, right? Like, I don't ever want to be a victim. And I mean, I didn't have food on the table growing up. I grew up in the projects. I mean, you could use every single thing ever in a million years. I've been beaten within an inch of my life and in the hospital several times. You can use all of these things. I've been homeless. Okay. I've never been a victim in my life, right? All of those things made me who I am today. So, I mean, negativity and a victim attitude, it just drives me crazy, because you can't do anything with someone that's stuck in that. And until someone is ready, it's almost like an alcoholic, right? Like nothing is more strong than that bottle till they're ready to change. And I don't think there's people that are like, oh, if I just could do that. You are either ready to change or you are not ready to change. And that is it. There can't be an in-between. Doesn't mean that you don't falter some on the way, because no journey is perfect. But that is what discourages me more than anything, like a victim. Get over it. God did not create us to be victims. He created us to be a victor of whatever circumstance it might be. And our best looks different every single day.
So if you have a client who comes in with kind of like a bent towards that negativity, do you just excuse them? Like, maybe this isn't for you, or do you like really?
They typically excuse themselves, to be honest. Like, people are with me for years, or they're with me for a month or two, and that's it. Like, I mean, because they're like, I don't want to work this hard, and I do not want to be sunshine.
That
right?
was too positive.
I told my husband a couple of years ago, I had like, I don't really ever care what most people are saying about me, because I'm so busy and focused on the future. But there was someone that was really kind of a hater, and they're like, nobody wants sunshine and roses blown up their butt every day. And I was like, man, I've made it. If you're enemies, that's the worst thing they can say about you.
That's true. That's a good point.
But I really I had to learn how to not be negative too. Like, there was a time in my life when you just focused on the bad stuff, because that's what we're taught, right? Like, that's what you see on TV. That's what your friends are like. You're just taught to focus on those things instead of solution focused, right? So that's what I try to do with people who are stuck in that victim or that negative. It's like, okay, this might be where we are today, but once again, what are your 5 simple things we can do to get you over to this side so you can be a victor and not a victim? And we have to set ourselves free.
Your story is way more redemptive than I understood talking to you. So I'd be curious to see, can you define for me what redemption is?
Oh, man, I don't know. Like, I've actually, so in the thing where you were talking about how you started with, the season April, right? I guess I've never really even thought of my story being redemption, because I've never thought about my past being that bad.
But you said that you're lined up and you have been through the most pain, so you can do this.
Yeah. I feel at a young age, God called me to do something great. And I don't even know if know what that great thing is yet.
Did you know that at that young age?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
And my pastor actually, literally my coach passed away, my pastor passed away, and then my doctor in Hazen had a heart attack, like all within like this short span. And it's like, I knew I was under attack, right? Like the devil's trying to keep me from something great, right? Joke's on him. Moving forward. But she was the first female evangelist in the United States in 1932. And we rented a house from her when I was younger. And that's how, like, it was only a block away from the projects, but it was out of the projects, right? It was like your first step towards a different life. And one day she just stopped me in the road while I was playing and asked me to go to church and told me that God had great things for me. And that was when I was 8 years old.
That was the moment.
That was when I knew.
Wow.
Yeah. And even
that's
when I was
really
younger, though, like, even like, I just remember when I was younger, just knowing that there was more for me than when I looked out my window.
And you're saying you still don't know. Did you say that?
Yeah.
I still don't know what that is.
I still don't know exactly what that is. I don't know I know it's to help people, and I know that there's still more things to come. What that is, I don't know. I couldn't have told you what this year was. Like, holy crap, right?
Yeah.
So once again, redemption, I don't know. I feel like I'm the example of every abused woman that you can be more. Every little kid that grew up in the projects, that you can be more. That just because you didn't have food on the table doesn't mean you can't make your way. Every person that was homeless, but still worked 2 jobs. Every alcoholic, every person that struggled with addiction, every person who was told that they weren't good enough or had someone tell them that they couldn't be more. There are people that will tell you you will be more, and they'll help facilitate that for you.
Wow.
And don't give up.
April Lund.
Thanks.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. This has been awesome.
Thanks.
You have an incredible life. You have an incredible story. I think from outside looking in, can glean a little bit about what that purpose is that you question sometimes. It's pretty clear. It almost seems.
Yeah.
But this has been awesome. Do you have anything else?
No, I hope you have me back here and maybe next year, and we can go over stuff. And
Oh yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah.
Where can people find you to follow what you're doing now?
yeah, AprilLundFitness.com, GYS Track Club, and then I just had to start an Insta. Is that what the kids say? Insta.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's in. That'll work.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a kid.
I had a couple sponsors ask me to do an Instagram, so I'm kind of excited about that.
Oh, that'd
So,
be great.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I love Reels now.
Yeah. All right.
So,
Cool.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Brian Jackson with Mighty Missouri Coffee. With me is Nolan Johnson with Quantum Digital. So if you like how this sounds and looks, thanks to Quantum Digital, if you like the way that this smells and tastes, that's thanks to Mighty Missouri Coffee. Coffee to your door, mightymissouri.com.